Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my corner of the multiverse. This is the Salty Goddess Podcast, and I'm Margaret. Be sure to follow, share, subscribe, and do all the wonderful things that you should be doing for your favorite podcast, of course. And strap yourselves in for your hump day guilty pleasure, because it's about, to happen. I'm pretty sure that after last week, some of you all are a little uncomfortable. But kudos to you for showing back up. Welcome back. That last episode, we identified issues. Now, you're going to fix it. Because knowing something, labeling it, being aware of it means you should do something about it. But just knowing and putting a label on it and understanding does not have the same skill set. It's not the same skill set as taking action. So they're two different skill sets, two totally different skill sets. And you have to kind of know how to get the job done. And it's not easy. Now, I know you did the audit. And if you did it and you did it completely, you might be right now a little unsettled, maybe. You've known all along that something wasn't quite right, or that some people were your favorite people, because the energy in the room totally shifts when they join you, right? And it's exciting, it's thrilling, it's fun, it's warm, it's welcoming, right? You're aligned with those individuals. And so when you think about those three categories that we spoke about last episode, you already had a really good idea of where people were going to land. I know you did. So now you've identified who drains you, who adds nothing, but doesn't take away either, and who actually builds you up, lifts you up, and gives you a positive return on investment. So now we stop talking. Okay, this is where the stop and talk, or the talking stops. I said it backwards. Look at that. And we start executing, because awareness without action, that's just, entertainment. It's just a label. It's just, listen, I will tell you something. In the court of law, if you are aware that someone is committing a crime and you say nothing and you do nothing and you turn and walk away, do you think that you could be complicit? By you not taking action, you are actually complicit in the negative ROI, in the way that these individuals wreck you, wreck your aura, your vibe, your time, your space, whatever you want to call it. Don't be complicit in the theft of your most valuable currency. Don't do it. I don't care if you're 19, 59, or 109. You can absolutely do the audit and then take action. Trust me when I tell you, the IRS is going to audit you and they're going to give you an action plan. If they find a discrepancy, they are going to tell you, you better sit down and figure out how you're going to pay this money back. You need to think of it the exact same way. The exact same way. I pay real estate taxes. What do I get for that? I get roads, right? I get infrastructure, right? Yeah. I get something back for what I pay in my taxes. I'm not 1,000% sure what I get for IRS taxes, really? But okay, whatever. It doesn't matter. I know I get something if it's still there when I retire. But in all seriousness, If you are going to spend your currency, you need to have something in return. And don't say, well, I buy food and then it's gone. That food fueled your metabolism and kept you alive. You did get a return. Now listen, if you choose to live on chips and soda, that's on you. That's on you. Or, then Oreo tiramisu cookies or something. I mean, that's on you. It's on me. There are consequences to every single decision we make and every decision that we do not make. So don't think that just sitting still and not making a decision, not taking action, not doing the audit. If you didn't do the audit, go back to that last episode and do it. Or don't. I guess you don't have to. Either way, you chose the consequences. Because you can do something about it and you choose not to. I'm going to tell you, I'm sure you've heard it before, shit or get off the pot. Do not complain about your circumstance and then do nothing about it. And think anybody's going to want to sit and listen to you complain some more. Nope. Nobody wants to hear it. Nope. They don't. So you already knew. You already knew when you heard, crap, I got to categorize these people. I got to categorize these events. I have to categorize this job or these jobs or this hobby or this group of friends, whatever the case may be. Yes, you already knew. You had a good idea where everybody was going to fall. All right. And I will tell you, you don't need more information. Clarity is not your problem. You don't need to journal some more about it. You don't need to think on it. You already know. And you really did know before you did the audit. That's the thing. That's the whole thing in a nutshell. You already knew. But now, last week I told you to write it down. Last week I told you to think about it. Put the ledger on paper and look at it with your eyes. Visualize it. You didn't want to admit it. Most of us don't want to admit it. Because sometimes when we do the audit, people who have been a part of our lives for a long time, or through some of the happiest times, some of the saddest times, the most trying times, are the ones you have to push into the outer ring. They don't get that VIP access. All right. You are the star of your life. You. Who you give VIP access to matters. Not everyone is meant to be in the nucleus, in that inner circle. That's okay. I'm not saying that you have to cut them off completely. I mean, listen, if the bitch is toxic, snip, 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 snip. Maybe they'll grow eventually, and somewhere down the line, the two of you can, maybe come back together. You don't know. You don't know. We don't know what's in our future, really. Okay? So nobody wants to admit it. It's uncomfortable. Even misery and unhappiness and being drained is comfortable for some people because change is uncomfortable. Some of you might be thinking, I'm not going to have any friends left. Well, it's probably because you did the picking the wrong right from the start. Okay? Yeah. Maybe, you were not, watching that ledger. You weren't reconciling that bank statement every freaking month. And you should have been. So it's not a clarity issue. It is truly a courage issue. You have to be brave enough to put yourself first. First. All right? So you got to make some decisions. High performers don't sit in analysis paralysis. They decide, clean, direct, done. And this is really where a lot of people get stuck. They want to make, or they think they have to make, a perfect decision. And you don't, because there isn't one. There never is. There's only a decision that moves you forward, or a decision that keeps you right where you're at, or, goddesses forbid, pushes you back further away from your goal attainment. Right? And some of you have been delaying for years and decades. Years and decades. Think about that for a minute. Think about how long a year is in minutes. It's a lot of time to waste. Remember, 55 seasons, 65 seasons, maybe 75. If you're really lucky, you might hit 85. I don't think 85 springs, 85 summers, 85 autumns, or 85 winters is enough. I don't want to waste a single one of them. Not a single one. There's not that many. So you want to control the access. Not everybody gets a VIP pass or VIP access, right? When you all go to concerts, do you all get VIP tickets? You get to go meet the band? Or you get right up close at the front of the stage? You get those tickets? No. One, not everybody can afford those tickets. Two, they're not always offered at every concert, right? Because they control the access. That makes the access more valuable. Because you are valuable. Not everyone deserves a seat at your table. You're not serving everyone prime rib, filet mignon, and lobster tail. This is not how it works. This is not how it works. Access is a privilege. It's not a right. It is not a right. No one can demand or command access to you. No one. Now, one would think if, you're raising kids, your toddlers can. I mean, that's different, right? But just because someone birthed you, raised you, married you, I don't know, that does not give them, carte blanche access. It does not. And I will tell you, I do have friends that I've known since elementary school. I have friends that I've known since I was in NP school. There are some individuals that have closer access than others, and it's not based on how long they've known me. It's based on how we align. And that's it. And maybe that sounds stuck up to some of you. I don't know. But I've said this in previous episodes of the podcast. You are not going to like every single person that you walk into a room and meet. You won't. It's impossible. Just because you don't like them, just because you don't see eye to eye on things, does not mean that you can't be respectful. That I got a thing about that. There is absolutely zero reason why, if you don't like somebody at work, that you should make everybody's life at work hell when the two of you talk to each other. No, that's disrespectful of everyone else around you. Okay? Disrespectful. There's a family function, y'all have to go, and you don't like Cousin Bessie? Don't talk to Cousin Bessie. But you should be able to be in the same room. And I mean it. You are an adult. Get your shit together. Why can't you be grown up? And you shouldn't pressure other people to decide who's going to be on their guest list. Okay? If you have to say to somebody, if you want me there, you better not invite them. You're already in the outer circle. You're not in the, honey, you're out about 5 acres away. All right? In the brush. You're not at the stage. just having to say that means you're not in the inner circle and you're a manipulative bitch. So hush. No, not going to work. Okay. So you don't have to cut people off completely. Some people you do. Some people are hella disrespectful. Some people you just like, you know what? Badafangu, I'm not interested in nothing with you. Okay. I got a million trillion things I'd rather do than fuck with you. Because they're just assholes. They're narcissists. They're manipulative. They're always the victim and blah. Okay. No, bye. Those people you are going to have to walk away from. You also don't have to make dramatic announcements or burn your life down or anything else. Sometimes the move is simple and it's quiet. You just reduce their access. Less time, less availability, less emotional labor. You do not owe anyone a front seat to your life. You don't. Let me clarify one thing for you. Okay? If you're married, you're in a relationship, okay? If you've decided that you really don't want your spouse to have VIP access, let them know. Okay? And then just end that. Because that's ridiculousness. You don't. Yeah, that's the one situation that I'm talking about. When you live together as a unit, whether there's paper or not, you have to have those conversations, okay? Don't use like silence as, the silent treatment and that kind of stuff. Just walk away. All right, that's a different situation, a different level, okay? So please, there you have to be honest and have that conversation. All right. But if it's people that are outside of your home, you just give them less access, less availability, because you don't owe anybody anything. Okay. Some people need to be moved into the standing room only, or maybe even outside the venue completely. Yeah. Sometimes that's the case. So when we start talking about boundaries and standards, okay, let me explain this. Let me fix this concept for you right in the moment, right here, right now, and take note of this. Boundaries are not explanations. Boundaries are the way in which you move. They're not emotional speeches. They are decisions that you've made, and they are your behaviors. Okay? That's all. You don't have to tell people, I've chosen a boundary here. Stay away. You don't need to do that. You just maybe don't answer a phone call or respond as quickly via text or make plans. All right? Depending on where they are in the hierarchy, that might be it. Maybe you just need to say to someone, just leave me alone. I'm not interested in playing games, or I'm not interested anymore. It's that simple. And that's the end of the conversation. The end. The end. Especially if it's been an ongoing year over year over year, decade over decade over decade, okay? Of somebody behaving in a manner which is absolutely ludicrous. You can say, I'm just not interested in playing patty cake with you no more, and walk away. You don't need, any other thing other than to say that, no, I'm not available for that. Nope, that won't work for me. Or I'm not having this conversation with you. And that's the end of it. You don't paragraph, you don't justify, there's no performance. And if somebody needs a dissertation to respect your boundaries, they weren't going to fucking respect it to begin with. So just walk away. People will react to that. Oh, you'll hear them say shit like, I can't imagine what I could have done. Okay, if you're an adult, you must know there's always, in the realm of possibilities, a chance you've said or done something across a 10-year relationship, a 30-year relationship that could have offended somebody, because we've all done it. I do it. I know I've done it, even when it wasn't my intent. But if someone came to me and said, you've offended me, my first response to them would not be the narcissistic, manipulative gaslighting. I can't imagine what I've done. Because you know it's bullshit. You did do something. Otherwise, I wouldn't be calling you out. Okay? And they don't even have to give you an explanation. Now, we are talking about, again, people that you live with, someone you're in an intimate relationship with. If something is bothering you, that's different. You have a conversation. Okay? Give the person the opportunity to either apologize, retract, or tell you, nah, bitch, that's what I meant. You should have been offended. All right? You don't not have that conversation with intimate partners, your children that are in your home, things like that. Okay? Anybody outside the home? Different story. Anybody outside your home? Different story. You just tell them, nope, not playing your reindeer games this week, boys and girls. Thank you. Please drive through. Next. All right. But people will react. And when you change your behavior, they'll notice. And honestly, not everybody's going to like it, right? Because your boundaries expose their expectations. And when you stop overgiving and they lose access to something they were benefiting from, that causes them extreme discomfort. And please understand something. You are going to grieve the loss of relationships, even if it was a shitty relationship. We all do. We're sad that things couldn't have been different, couldn't have been better, couldn't have been worked out, that forgiveness couldn't have been there and behavior modification taken place. We do all wish that. All right, especially when we're talking about close family members and long-term friends. But sometimes it's just not possible. And maybe when this first happens and you've grieved it, but you know that you feel healthier for it, maybe somewhere down the line, this individual will come to you and say, mistakes were made. Can we try again? And then that's when you get to make the next decision, right? In your flow chart of decision making. You're either going to say yes or you're going to say no. Don't fall for no shit a week later, though. Don't be dumb. Do not fall for that crap a week later. Because you know it's just performative at that point. You know that. A week is not long enough for them to incorporate new habits and behaviors. So where does your time go next? Some of when people are talking about, just let it go, just walk away, but you now have reclaimed time. So now what do you do? Because if you don't reinvest that time intentionally, you'll actually default back into your old patterns. So here's where it goes. You reinvest that time in high ROI people. You invest it in your growth, your goals, and your peace. Peace is extremely important. It helps you reach your goals and it helps you to grow. Okay? And don't think you did anything wrong. Don't think you are the problem because you asked individuals or you chose to disengage with individuals that did not leave a healthy, relationship there. That's not your fault. It's their fault. Okay? It's their fault, not yours. So don't carry that guilt. Don't carry that burden. Don't carry that weight. Let it go. Now, this, believe it or not, when we're talking about investment, When you now have that extra time to reinvest, it compounds daily and things get exponentially better day over day over day. Okay? You are no longer the fixer, the over-explainer, the emotional safety net, or the person that tolerates poor behavior. You're selective, intentional, and disciplined. And believe it or not, that shift will change everything. Your days will seem less burdensome. You'll have a lighter perspective on things, and you'll really be able to focus a lot better on any of the things and all of the things that are important to you. Consider your life like a portfolio. You're going to have to turn those pages and show them to someone else. And time is your currency. Your standards determine how your currency is invested. Think about that for a moment. If you were investing in stocks, would you stop investing in stocks that don't pay you back at all? Because I would. I'd sell that shit right quick. Then you'll take the time to start building a life that does pay you back because you deserve that. You've earned it. Plain and simple. Now, at some point, someone might come back to you a year or two down the road, 6 months down the road, and say to you, mistakes were made. Can we move forward from here? Is your answer going to be, well, we have to hash out every, detail of all the things that went wrong and all of the things that you did to me or all of the things I did to you? Do you really think that is a good investment in your time? Because it's not. So if you cannot forgive and move forward, literally with a clean slate, don't go back to that investment, because all that will be there is a poor return on investment. There will be resentment, anger, and things of that nature. And then one day you'll wake up and be like, oh, why did I do that? Why did I do that? I shouldn't have done that. So I'm not just about calling out what's wrong in your lives. I'm trying to give you actionable behaviors to assist you. I wish there were times that I had understood that this audit we should teach our children how to audit this way when they're young kids, like 12, 13, 14, honestly. Because if we allowed them the opportunity to look at something from, like a 10,000 foot view, if you will, even, I bet you they'd be a lot more successful in their futures. They wouldn't be dragged down by individuals who just use them as a punching bag, that just use them for whatever it is that they're working on to get from them. And the truth is, I'd love to be able to have taught all of that to even my children or to my grandchildren. But even more importantly, to some of my colleagues who struggle when they worry about ending work relationships, social relationships and things of that nature. I think that the most important thing that you can be is audacious enough to be your authentic self. It's radical thinking. I know. Just had a conversation today with somebody, MD, we'll leave it at that, when we talked about, always worrying about how people received our neurospicy selves and all that, and how much time we spent worrying about how it affected other people. And the truth is, you know what? Who cares? You either like someone or you don't. You either appreciate them or you don't. Stop trying to fit into someone else's mold. Oh, a gentleman, I read his story on LinkedIn today. His initials are EC. And he was talking about, he had gone into the gentleman's restroom and there was like the paper towel dispenser had broken open or popped open, and a stack of paper towels fell on the floor. He picked them up and put them back. He didn't realize there was anybody else in the restroom with him. And when he had walked out and he was moving away from the restroom, someone came out and said, that was really great what you just did there. And he goes, it made me feel good. And I said, I'm not the least bit surprised and I am not the least bit disappointed. Because what you do when no one is watching, what you do when there is no award or reward or, punishment or whatever you do when there's no one there to judge it is who you really are. That's your character. That's your honor. That's your integrity. And I told him, I said, I'm neither surprised nor disappointed. I knew that would be the type of person that this individual would be, whether people were looking or not. And that is how we should all be, authentically ourselves. And if we are the dessert that others find unpalatable, that's on them. That's their taste buds, friends, not you. Okay? I know I am not everybody's double shot of whiskey. But damn it, I fucking sure am somebody's. All right? And I know I am. Because they tell me. So, hey, it's not for everybody. We know it because we're all just a little bit different. And that is okay. But I promise you, even if I'm not your double shot of whiskey, I can still work with you. I can be in a room with you. I could be at a party with you and behave and be respectful of the host or hostess. Okay? And not be a Neanderthal. Okay? That's not so hard to do, is it? I don't think it is. You should all try it on every once in a while. Every once in a while. All right? So you're no longer the fixer. You're going to start being selective, intentional, and disciplined. Discipline, self-discipline is extremely important. All right? There is never going to be enough time. We need to stop spending our most valuable currency like we have an unending and infinite supply of it, because we don't. It's not philosophy. It's a lived truth. Now, if you ran the audit, but you're still stuck on what to do next, in the next couple of weeks, we're going to have the return on investment audit workbook that'll help walk you through exactly how to make these decisions. Because knowing, labeling, and being aware is not enough. Execution is everything. It is absolutely everything. Everything. So, I hope this morning, when the alarm went off, you stood on your feet for at least 18 seconds to get your day going. You didn't hit snooze because you knew this episode was dropping. You didn't want to miss it, right? Thank you all for joining me again this week for your Hump Day Guilty Pleasure. This is the Salty Goddess Podcast. I'm Margaret. Be sure to follow, share, subscribe, and download. Search us out. Find us on social media everywhere. and follow us, and make sure you just do your audit and then take action. Life's too short. Way too short. Thank y'all. See you next week.